It is truly a blessing to be out here among y'all this evening. You know, some of y'all haven't changed at all in 40 years. That's right. So, but I have the task to introduce our speaker this evening. He's a fellow that I've been knowing all my life, really. I got him about a couple of months before he did. But as little children, we got a chance to run around in his backyard and throw rocks and stuff off in the bayou. But come to find out that once we got to high school that we were in the same class together. I've been knowing him a long time. Rodney has done well for himself. You know, it's good when you can see people that you came up with that have really achieved things in their life. And I am very proud of my cousin. I am very proud of my classmate. He's got a chance to go to law school. He took the easy way out. He didn't want to become a criminal lawyer. But the Lord still blessed him. He has his own law firm down in Atlanta, Griffin and Strong. And prior to that, if I'm not mistaken, he worked also as the city attorney for the city of Atlanta when he was a young lawyer at that time. He worked up on Marion Jackson. And he has done real well for himself. And I'm not going to hold y'all in alone because I got word, don't be up there too long. But anyway, our guest speaker for this evening, Rodney K. Strong.
How's everybody? All right. It is good to be here after 40 years, isn't it?
All right.
It's a blessing to be here. I just want to say that, you know, John and I, by us being cousins, we've known each other all our lives, and didn't you know, think a lot about school until we ended up at Northside together. Found out we were in the same class. I didn't have any idea that he was the same age. I always thought he was older than me. I just want to thank all of the members of the Reunion Committee. Because, you know, without you all and all the work that you all do, this couldn't be possible. And I just want to take a minute and just say thank you to each and every one of you for all the hard work that you do. I know it's not an easy thing. And then I want to thank all of our classmates and all of your spouses who are here and all of our friends and just everybody for coming out tonight to celebrate this 40th reunion for the class of 1972. And also, I just want to thank you all for inviting me to say a few words to you tonight because I consider it one of the greatest honors I've ever had.
All right now.
Now, you all probably haven't thought about this, but you all have honored me twice. Okay? The first time was in April of 1971, when one of you all, I don't know who, nominated me from the floor to be the vice president of the class of 1972. And I didn't run. I wasn't expecting that. And then when you all elected me, I could have fallen out. But it was really a pleasure senior year serving as a class officer, working with our president at that time, Clarence Walker, and planning the prom and all of the things that we had to do to get ready to have a good senior year. And so I consider that my first big honor from you all, and of course, now 41 years later, you all allow me to speak at this reunion, and I just am really touched by that. And you know, when I remember Northside High, I remember all my friends.
All right.
And when I remember Northside High, I remember how it's been. You know, all of us here tonight have a lot to be thankful for. You know, because so many of our classmates didn't make it. And I know that I am, and I know each one of you are thinking of certain friends that you were particularly close to. Folk that you know if they were here tonight, they'd be cutting up. And, you know, at a time like this, that's when you really think about your friends that are no longer with us. And that's when you particularly feel their presence. But, you know, I take comfort from my belief that their spirit is with us tonight.
All right.
And I hope you do too. Now, you know, we have a lot to celebrate because we're survivors. We have survived a whole lot when you stop to think about the journey that we've been on. Not just for 40 years, but the journey we've been on since we first got here and first started out in first grade. You know, there's some folk in this room, I'm not going to say who, that I started Corn School with in first grade. Some of y'all remember Corn School. And you know, it's been a blessing all of these years. When we mark a milestone like this, for those of us who are here, what we can really do is look at this as a situation where we know that this is a time for us to keep on pushing on, because there's still much for us to do. And when you really look at what we've done, I think a lot of times we don't really, because, you know, when you live in your life, you don't have a lot of time to reflect on what you've been through or what you've done over the years. But when you really look at what we've been through, we come from a unique generation. And we're what Ellis Cosi called the children of the dream. Because we grew up in a different world. And we saw the world change. And more importantly, we made the world change. Now, think about the world in September 1960, when some of us started Corn School, and some of y'all were at Klondike, some of y'all were at Merrill, Caldwell, and everybody was at different schools, but we all were starting first grade together. Unless some of y'all might have been smart and jumped a couple of grades. Most of y'all started in 1960. And think about the world and what it was like in 1960. You know, we still had white and colored water fountains, restrooms. African Americans could only go to the zoo on Tuesday and to the fairgrounds on Thursday. You know, if you wanted to go to the Malco Theater to see a movie, you had to go upstairs to the balcony. Y'all remember the balcony? Where we used to throw the popcorn down on it. But by the time we got to high school, a lot of that overt segregation had ended. And things had changed. But they didn't change just automatically. They would change because people who were committed to change made it change. We saw our parents out there doing things to support the movement. Sometimes they were at a march. Sometimes they just gave a few dollars when somebody came and knocked on the door and said, we're taking up some money to help the garbage men. You know, we didn't call them sanitation workers until later on. We said, we want to help the garbage men. I'm taking up money. I remember Miss Morris. Remember, everybody y'all remember Miss Alma Morris? She used to come by every week and knock on the door. I'm taking up money for the garbage men. And some of you all were here at our last reunion. And we had people on both sides of the racial divide that crossed the line to make the world we see today. Some of y'all remember Richard getting up and testifying about how his parents sold their house and moved to North Memphis so he could go to Northside. And here we are 40 years later, still with us. And we saw a lot go on. We saw Dr. King get killed in our city the year when we were still in, what, 8th grade? And so by the time we got to high school, things had moved a long way from the time we started 1st grade. But we still knew that there was a lot of discrimination. There were things that weren't right about the way Memphis was run. There was a lot that wasn't right about the way America was run. And so when the NAACP called for a boycott of the Memphis city schools, we stepped up. We didn't stay at Northside, we walked out.
I ran out.
John ran out. But you know, when we walked out or we ran out or marched out, what we did was we walked out and we walked into history.
Yes. Yes.
You know, we don't like to think about it, but we walked into history because we changed things. Things will never be the same as they were before we walked out. Now, when Barack Obama was still playing children's games in Honolulu, we were bringing hope and change to America right here in Memphis, Tennessee. You know, oftentimes, have you seen athletes win the Super Bowl, World Series, NBA championship, some other championship? They always grab the trophy and they start screaming, "Oh Lord, they can never take it away from me." Well, Northside High class of 1972, I'm here tonight to say they can never, ever take away what we did. We brought change to Memphis and we helped bring change to America. And so, no matter what, our place in history is secure. No, you know, the war is not over. There are always new battles to fight. Everything in the way it ought to be. We still haven't reached that promised land that Dr. King talked about. But we've come a long way. When we were on the front lines of history, we fought the good fight. And we won our battle, and they can never, ever take it away. You know, so the question for us now, as we approach our 40th, 41st, 42nd year after leaving Northside, is where do we go from here?
Yes.
The last book that Dr. King wrote was, Where Do We Go From Here? Community or Chaos? And our collective actions as young students help to move this nation closer to community and away from chaos. And since we departed Northside High, we've made some progress. And there's been a lot of resistance, but one thing is certain: our parents and grandparents lived in a world that is long gone. The world we lived in is something that would have been hard for them to imagine. We've changed the world so much that our children and grandchildren cannot even imagine what the world was like in September of 1960, when we first started on this journey of education. And as unimaginable as it is to them, if they were to think back on what we have been through, can you imagine in 1960s or the early 1970s, if we could imagine that in 2008 America would elect a black man named Barack Obama, President of the United States. Yeah. Class of 1972, it's a brave new world, and we made it. Now, some of us have retired. And I know I'm hearing some testimony over here. And some of us who haven't retired can see it coming. And so at this stage, we have to ask ourselves the question that Dr. King asked the nation 45 years ago. Where do we go from here? Now, I think all of us have to ask ourselves, do we sit around watching the Oprah Network or Judge Joe Brown? I like Joe Brown. Or will we continue spending some of our time working to improve the community? Now, given our heritage, coming from Northside High School, being Cougars, being world changers, I don't have any doubt that I know which way we're going to go. We're going to be addressing these problems, addressing the problems that still exist as we move forward into this next phase. And so I just want to say to each one of you, thank you for all you have done, and I look forward to all you will do. God bless each and every one of you and all of your families.
All right, next we're going to have presentation, our martyr, for the thanks from Rodney, and then the party will start. Thank y'all for letting them see your program.
All right.
Y'all get your cameras out. Let's cover that mama coming. Get your cameras out. Load up and get them up. The phone now. You already know. Go that home. Come on, freaking friend.
Good afternoon. We have an award here for this. We have an award here for this young man that I know a long time, junior high school, played football together. This beat him up real bad, boy. In the dressing room, we give him a dressing room, but on that field, right? Rodney, we have an award here for you. Would you like to come and accept it? Rodney Strong.
Yeah, do you wrong with dressing room.
I still haven't figured out who put that stuff in my jacket. Look, I just want to thank you all. This is way more than I deserve because it was an honor just to get a chance to come here and talk to you all, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
President.
Read the flag.
Oh, read the flag.
This last one.
If I can see it. The plaque says, to Rodney Strong with appreciation, being our guest speaker, Northside High School, Class of 72, 2012.
Well, our next award goes to one of our class members. Real great guy. Videographer.
Yeah.
You all hit back and saying okay.
I want to let everybody know, before Leroy came on, we were just kind of like mediocre.
Yeah.
People were about now and everything. Leroy came around, and I guarantee you we went global.
Amen.
You know, YouTube, internet, we everywhere. So
Yeah.
CDs, and I also want to give a shout out to his wife.
All right. Yes.
Come on, Leroy, and get this.
Brenda, stay where you are.
It says, thanks Leroy Morgan for having a vision and knowing and keeping to it. Okay. Thank you very much. This is a prize. I don't have a speech because I'm surprised. I do want to say that it's a pleasure, it's a joy, it's a blessing for me to be able to share this with my classmates, and just look forward to continuing.
All right.
Get back to the camera.
Yes.
Our next award is for, it's for the hardest working person on our staff.
Yes.
Man, I've been out of town and working, and I'd always get a phone call, open the night, it'd be late. Keep your breath sometimes.
What secretary you got?
To be honest, she done a great part of.
Yes.
She called me the other night. I want to keep your breath. Okay, son. Don't talk with me tonight.
Call on up, baby.
Okay, son. I said, that's fine. Well, I just want to keep your breath. But, you know, she reminded me of James Brown, the hardest working man. She's the hardest working member.
See that?
And I say, I'm gonna read it for you.
Leroy ain't never seen that yet.
Might just have to get close, but if you do that,
Presented to Samuel Carter. Thanks for all your hard
that's
work
how you take pictures.
you did for the Northside class of 72 for
I gotta see
the
you
Reunion,
on Zoom.
June the 2nd, 2012.
So really, yeah, the program is clear. But I
And she was trained by
see why you
this.
do this.
Big Amy.
I just want to say, I wanted this night to be one that we all remember. And that's why I worked so hard. And Ann did show me and talk to me a lot of things. I'd get upset sometimes, but I always kept my focus. And I am so happy that you guys have a good time.
That Zoom. Silver thing.
No, but we got some more news coming, so when the music stops, because we still got on.
Let's give her a round of applause.
sit out here and